Kurt Hammond. I've been an attorney since 1989. I think I've always been argumentative and competitive in nature. So this is a profession in which there's always a winner and a loser as a practical matter. That's what drove me into the profession. It's always interesting on a daily basis. For 20 years, I was a partner in a law firm based out of Chicago where we did primarily insurance defense work. After 20 years of working for insurance companies and doing various other things and having partners in Chicago, I decided it was time for me to be my own boss and came over to the firm of Rudolph and Hammond where my brother Kent already works and jumped in. And where now I do personal injury, taking cases against insurance companies, and I get to be the master of my own domain, so to speak. Actually, I like the people. It's a very dynamic practice. In other words, you get to meet interesting people all the time. As a plaintiff's attorney these days, I get the opportunity to represent people and see what I can do to maintain their best interest and get them fair compensation. So it's always elements change in the law. The arguments you make and the efforts you make to get them fair compensation change on a daily basis, so it's not a stagnant practice. And the opportunity to build relationships with clients and work with people, I think, is the most enjoyable aspect, because you learn things about people all the time when you're on the plaintiff side, whereas on the defense or the insurance defense side, you do not. You represent a company and it's all about money. Well, one, getting fair compensation for your clients on the plaintiff side. In this market, it's a conservative market. Insurance companies are conservative, so there's always a challenge to find a new way to put an insurance company, as I would say, put them in the box, to put them in a precarious situation in which they have to expand the value of the claim. Or my favorite thing to do is try to get them to pay extra contractual damages, pay above and beyond the policy limits because they did something wrong in the processing or handling of the claim. Getting to fair compensation is the first most difficult aspect. The second is dealing with all the liens that arise from patient care. In other words, once a person may have medical health insurance, but they go to the emergency room and their health insurance pays, the hospital can still do what's known as a balanced bill lien to get the rest of their bill. So it's always difficult trying to get those people to reduce so that you can put enough money in the injured person's pocket in order to fairly compensate them. So it's kind of a two-step process. You're dealing with the insurance companies to get fair compensation and getting those who are claiming a piece of the money to reduce so that the poor injured person can get enough money in their pocket. As a judge pro tem, you get appointed by the court most of the time to be a settlement conference judge. In other words, parties who have a case that needs somebody to mediate or help them resolve the dispute, you get appointed to be the mediator to help them reach a resolution of their claim. There are other instances in which, as a judge pro tem, you can take appointments to go down and be a commissioner for a day or fill a judge's docket for a day in order to assist the court when the judge needs a day off or has another conflict. I guess going out on your own is be prepared that you carry the burden of making the decisions. That's usually the one that most people don't understand, is the buck stops with you. In other words, before you always had somebody else who ultimately made the decision. You gripe about decisions that were made. But when you have your own business, it's you that makes the decision. So who you hire is important. Getting set up to financially at least get over the initial hurdle of starting your own business, because oftentimes it takes a while for the revenue stream to catch up with the expenses. So be prepared to be lean, be prepared to be responsible for the decisions, and most importantly, enjoy what you do. If you can't go to work every day and enjoy the actual job that you're doing, stay in some other practice where you get paid just to mull through the day. You have to enjoy what you do, and if you do that, the rest of it just kind of falls.